This episode is brought to you in part by Sira. Check out the World Food Service and Hospitality event in Lyon, France, January 2017.
Welcome to Foodable Weekly. This week we're talking about Foodable Labs and the November report. Stay tuned right here. Welcome back, everybody, and of course here on the set today we're actually going to be breaking down the industry report for Foodable Labs and November. One of the things that we've been doing is going down to the monthly level of our data. So November report, we jumped from 125,621 total units to 126,498 total units that were measured. Total conversation index went up on interactions of 86.9 million and on unique users about 44.3 million. So that's kind of the high influencers of the restaurant industry and what they're doing around conversations with the top 500 brands. This is not the entire index, obviously, with over 65,000 entities in the index today. So that's up again from last month, which was 71 million and 42 million respectively, with both interactions and unique users. As we start to really explore social restaurant visits, one of the things that people really ask us is, how do we break down a social restaurant visit? It's really three major metrics. The intent to visit, which is when people are talking about planning on going to a restaurant or some hospitality location. A return and refer, which is someone that maybe has been there and wants to return and or refer someone. And then a direct action. Direct actions are straight up. It could be a photograph on Instagram, a tweet, or a Facebook even check-in. Those are very direct motives of when people are in a restaurant. Obviously, the geodata helps identify where they are, and that's done through our venue track system. Now we'll jump to the November data, which is over October, and now we're looking at Shake Shack coming in at the number one brand, 6.65% growth month over month. Tender Greens held on to the number two spot, so they've been really doing very well. Some new entries in this month's top 10 is Dig In out of New York, Penn Station, which is an East Coast Subs concept out of Cincinnati. Arby's came in at number five at 5.34% growth. Lemonade, another new entry. Mod Pizza came in at 5.05. Twisted Root Burger out of Dallas, Texas at 5.02. Modern Market at 4.91, and Freshie held on to a top 10 spot with 4.89. And again, this is the November SRVs over October, and this is month-over-month growth by the brands, and then we rank them by the largest percentage of month-over-month growth. All right, so let's look at overall social restaurant visits across the entire ecosystem of the restaurant industry. This is 65,000 plus brand entities that are now in the database, and their consumers that are actually engaging in talking about being at their restaurants. So this kind of correlates to some things that are happening from a trend standpoint in the industry. What you're seeing from most of the reporting in the news is that we're seeing a little bit of a downturn overall. Most of that is occurring in the main chains. But when you look at the SRVs that we track, independents, fast casual, and small unit brands are really making up a large percentage of the social restaurant visits nationwide. So we've been looking at, we had a downturn from March into June, and July was our lowest really in the past 2 years. And then all of a sudden we had an uptick in social restaurant visits, jumping to 122 million, all the way to where we are today in November at 130 million social restaurant visits. So again, a slight incline over last month at 129 million in October. But in the November data, 130 million. So we're wrapping out the year with a nice upward tick and trend. Let's look at top performers as well. So this is another factor that we are doing on the monthly reports that really kind of go into predictions. And we're basing this on a couple of things that really identify what we think are leading indicators of potential sales or unit growth. Del Taco, we had last month doing a super job at really high performance, 68.48 increase in their overall score this year. Another predictor that we're looking at for 2017 is a company called Honeygrow, 103.68 in their overall score in 2016. Matchbox, 94.79. Freshie, 64.89 increase. Zoe's Kitchen at 51.34. Mod Pizza at 63.77 increase, and Lemonade at 61.43. And our wrapped up of our number 8 brand of ones to watch in 2017 was Little Beat at a 40.71 increase. And again, this is the overall indicators that we look at from a social metric standpoint, all 5 metrics that make up those scores. The other thing that we're looking at is our top performer of the year. And this is one that I think a lot of people are kind of scratching their head on, and that is McDonald's. McDonald's has really turned the ship around and doing some things that have obviously made an impact with their brand. An 80-point score increase from the beginning of this year. And if you look at our chart compared to their stock chart, it has a lot of similarities in terms of sales. But here's a bigger point to watch. If you look at how they're bouncing back, whether it's on Forbes or some of the Fact Reporter data that we've been seeing on not only their stock price, now you look at their social data, 13.2% guest crossover with Sonic Drive-In, which is one of the top-rated QSRs. So they're going head-to-head with a much more customized brand in the QSR space, being Sonic, and higher engagement and outpacing both Wendy's and Burger King. So that means they're talking, consumers are talking with McDonald's better than they have ever before. So their message is definitely resonating, which also contributes to the 80.12 increase this year. And that was started really at the beginning of the first quarter when we started seeing a McDonald's rise. So definitely stay tuned here on Foodable Weekly. If you have not seen Industry Pulse on this channel, you'll definitely want to check that out. And also our Washington Report will continue to cover a lot of the topics that are in relationship to government affairs and how it affects the restaurant industry. Thanks for watching on Foodable Weekly. We'll see you next time.